doing business in Africa. You can't afford to be without Africa Investor.
We believe climate change is the greatest investment opportunity of our generation. That's why the African Green Infrastructure Investment Bank, AFGIB, is investing for generational climate returns. Join Africa's Green Investment Bank and its partners for action on the just transition and emissions reduction targets in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt for an epic 2022 African COP27. The African Green Infrastructure Investment Bank, AFGIB, committing capital to a climate-safe future.
So I'm now going to call on another African Sovereign Wealth Fund from Ghana, Mr. Solomon Asamoah, for his remarks, and then we're going to be completely and properly bookended by Africa's largest pension fund from the energy sector, Mr. Ndabi Nkize, from the Eskom Provident Pension Plan after Solomon Asamoah.
Thank you, Hubert, and once again, thank you for inviting me to participate in this very worthwhile panel. Thank you. As mentioned, I'm the CEO of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, which is a Ghanaian government-owned investment vehicle that has a very flexible and clear mandate to promote, develop, and invest in and manage infrastructure assets throughout Ghana. And we do that by trying to work closely with other sources of financing. We've been quite busy in the last 4 years, and we have managed to now have a portfolio of 12 infrastructure projects and have invested about $280 million US. But most importantly, we managed to attract $1 for every $1 of gift money. We've managed to attract $10 from other people's money into gift projects. So we have a very good track record of understanding how to structure our projects so that they remain viable and attractive to other sources of finances, the private sector particularly, and international finances particularly. So what we bring to this particular initiative is as we focus more and more on sustainable financing and making sure that our infrastructure is resilient and basically follows the principles of green financing. What we can do and what we offer ourselves as gift as a sovereign wealth fund effectively of Ghana is the vehicle through which many of the on-the-ground projects can be structured and made available for international financing. So converting that if you like, that desire amongst financiers into practical individual projects that their money can find a home in. It's often said that lack of financing is less of an issue in Africa, but more getting bankable projects put in place. Well, we play that role in Ghana of making sure that our projects are bankable and of the structure that are acceptable for other sources of financing. And that's the role that we want to play. So leveraging other financiers is very important. Providing a line of identifiable, bankable, infrastructure-related projects with a sustainable component is also what we bring to the party. So whether we're looking at some of the projects that we've done, whether we're looking at a port expansion, whether we're looking at new roads, whether we're looking at renewable power projects, whether we're looking at any of these sectors, when we're looking at ecotourism or sustainable tourism, these are areas that we already have invested in, and we also have a pipeline of future projects which will be able to attract that financing and be able to be sustainable and green. And that's what we really think we bring to the party. And we do that because we have a very close relationship with the government. As clearly we're owned by the government, they put us together. So we have access to government at the very highest levels, and that gives us an ability to unlock problems in our projects, which maybe perhaps other institutions may not be able to unlock. And as anybody knows, if you're doing infrastructure projects in Africa, you need to have a very strong relationship, or it helps to have a very strong relationship with government. So that's the role that we can play. We are owned by the government, so we have the weight of the state behind us, but we look at things through a commercial and a private sector lens. And we make sure that all of our projects are commercially viable, can generate cash flows, and can give returns to potential financiers. So we see ourselves really as an ideal potential partner for international investors and financiers looking for sustainable projects within Ghana. We also have a very unique approach in terms of working with other sovereign wealth funds. And this is one area that I think hasn't been exploited enough on the continent. Collaboration between sovereign wealth funds or between even pension funds, both domestically and internationally. Our role, we see, is to lay the ground so that those sources of financing find ready-made projects that they can work with. And similarly, I would urge other sovereign wealth funds in other countries to do the same thing, and eventually we'll be investing in each other's projects in each other's countries. And that will also facilitate intra-African collaboration, as well as facilitate the aims of the free trade area in terms of making investments happen across borders. So those are the areas that I think we can add value to this initiative. And as I said earlier, we are very happy to participate and work with anybody else who shares these aims. My view of the value of this institutional partnership law that we're putting in place is that it will provide consistency. It will provide international players with a framework with which they can look at, and also the countries and the governments can also look at the same framework. That will enable faster decisions to be made and therefore more investments to be done. Thank you, Hubert.
We believe climate change is the greatest investment opportunity of our generation. That's why the African Green Infrastructure Investment Bank, AFGIB, is investing for generational climate returns. Join Africa's Green Investment Bank and its partners for action on the just transition and emissions reduction targets in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, for an epic 2022 African COP27. The African Green Infrastructure Investment Bank, AFGIB, committing capital to a climate-safe future.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.